This is the Daily Brew, 5 minutes or so of grounded insight for a business that works with you, not against you. I'm Teresa Cleveland. Let's get started. Today I'm covering the Operations and Systems Foundation, commonly referred to as your back end, the nuts and bolts, or mission control. Whatever you call it, it's all the behind the scenes details about how things get done in your business day to day. Here are the things I'm looking at in this foundation. First, what's documented versus what lives only in your head. If I ask you right now, what happens when somebody buys your main offer? Could you hand me a document that walks through the process, or would you have to explain it from memory? If it's all in your head, two things are true. One, you're going to have a hard time delegating it. And two, every single time you perform it, you're using that mental energy remembering what comes next. Not only is it exhausting, it's unsustainable long term. The next thing I'm looking at is, how do you track projects and tasks? Do you have a system or things scattered across emails, sticky notes, random docs, and even your memory? No shame here, because that was my system for a good while. Unfortunately, though, when tasks live in multiple places, it's so easy for things to fall through the cracks. And I'm betting you probably know this firsthand too. And not because you're disorganized, it's because you're human. Third, do you have actual systems or platforms you use, or are they just a collection of tools? And there is a difference. Tools are helpful, but tools without processes are just expensive subscriptions. A system is a repeatable way of doing something that doesn't require you to reinvent it every time. And fourth, what would happen if you took a week off? Just take a minute, picture that in your mind. And that's all I'm going to say about that for now. So let's talk for a minute about documenting. And I'm not at all saying you need to document everything today. Geez, the thought of that is overwhelming, and wow, it's unnecessary at this point. Here's what I want you to know, though. The businesses that scale are not the ones with perfect systems. They're the ones where the owner isn't the only person who knows how things work. So let's start with this. What's one thing that you do repeatedly that's still living entirely in your head? Could be client onboarding, project delivery, a follow-up process. Pick one, and the next time you do it, either turn on a screen recording tool like Loom or open a Google Doc and document what you're doing as you do it. Rough notes, bullet points, whatever. And remember, you're not building a training manual at this point. You're just getting it out of your head. I know there are plenty of reasons why this part doesn't get done. My personal favorite to fall back on was that the current process for whatever system, let's use onboarding, isn't the way that I ultimately want it to be. And I would always say, oh, okay, when it is, then I'll document it. And I sincerely meant it every time I said it. Here's the beauty of doing it now, though, regardless of how you want it to be in the future. Once it's visible, you can make notes of how you want it to be and improve it as you go. There are a whole myriad of benefits to doing it now. Among others, you get to experience what it's like to free up some mental space. And it's definitely easier to delegate when the time comes. Even if you've already begun delegating, the next time you onboard a team member, it's going to go so much smoother. While documenting is not the entirety of your operations and systems foundation, it is a key component. This is how you start building systems that actually support you instead of draining you. That's it for today. Thanks for listening. Remember to share this with someone else who might need it. I'll meet you back here next time.
This podcast is part of the Sound Advice FM network. Sound Advice FM, women's voices amplified.